Very good afternoon and thank you for tuning in. I'm Suesha Sound. You're watching Live and Breaking. We get you the latest details as 2 terrorists have been gunned down in Anantnag. And amid the unrest, it is National Conference Chief Farooq Abdullah who's made this big statement which reads, and I quote, agencies are there to destabilize Omar Abdullah government. He's further said that we cannot every time blame Pakistan. Farooq Abdullah, who's once again towing the same line as he says that this is an attempt to target the Omar government. Let's listen into that statement.
अगर वो पकड़े गए ना जो ये कर रहे हैं, पता लगेगा कौन कर रहा है. मारना नहीं चाहिए उनको पकड़ना चाहिए और पकड़ के उनसे पूछना चाहिए कि कौन उनके पीछे है. वही रास्ता है.
खानियार एरिया शहर श्रीनगर का बीच वाला एरिया है.
हाँ, ये सब देखिए, मुझे बताइए कौन लोग हैं जो ये कर सकते हैं और किस लिए कर सकते हैं. इन सालों में क्यों नहीं किया? मुझे इस पर तशवीश है.
सब किस तरह का असर इससे पड़ सकता है?
कोई असर नहीं पड़ेगा, परवाह मत कीजिए. ये इन चीज़ों से कामयाब नहीं होंगे. हम इसे निपट लेंगे इंशाल्लाह. लोग इसके साथ नहीं हैं.
शायद फिर हम हर बार ये नहीं कह सकते कि पाकिस्तान कर रहे हैं.
नहीं, सवाल ही नहीं. मैं इस बात में ये कहूँगा कि इस पर तहकीकात होनी चाहिए. हो कैसे रहा है? इसके बजाय कि इनको मारें, इनको पकड़ना चाहिए और पकड़ के हमें मालूम करना चाहिए कौन इनके पीछे. कोई ऐसी एजेंसी तो पीछे नहीं है जो उमर अब्दुल्ला को डिस्टेबलाइज करना चाहती है.
फारूक अब्दुल्ला साहब ने जो कहा है, मुझे लगता है कि यह इस बात का प्रमाण है कि अब उनको सत्ता में आके यह एहसास हो रहा है कि राष्ट्र विरोधी शक्तियों को किस गंभीरता और किस दृढ़ता के साथ डील करना चाहिए. यानी बहुत साफ है कि सत्ता के बाहर रह के बयान देना, उनके कई बयान बहुत आलोचना योग्य, गैर जिम्मेदाराना और राष्ट्र हित के विरुद्ध थे. मुझे लगता है अब पावर में आने के बाद उन्हें हो सकता है इस बात का एहसास हो रहा हो. तो यह उनके बदलते हुए नजरिए का प्रतीक है कि देश विरोधी शक्तियां किस प्रकार से काम कर रही हैं. तो मैं यह भी अपेक्षा करूंगा कि अब उमर अब्दुल्ला की सरकार उसी दृढ़ता के साथ उन विदेशी शक्तियों को जो भारत और कश्मीर के विरुद्ध षड्यंत्र करना चाहती हैं, उनका दमन करने में, उनका शमन करने में मोदी सरकार का सहयोग करें.
देखिए, ये तो सरकारों में रहे हैं, इनको इस बात को समझना चाहिए. बेतुके बयान देना अच्छी बात नहीं है. खास करके आपकी सरकार तो अभी 12 अक्टूबर को अब आई है, लेकिन इसके बाद पहले जो 5 अगस्त 2019 तक, जब तक भारतीय जनता पार्टी का शासन रहा, तो यहाँ पर शांति व्यवस्था बनी है. वो लाल चौक जिसकी आपने
सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस पूरी तरह से सजग हैं और उसका जवाब भी दे रही हैं. ऐसा नहीं है कि उसका जवाब नहीं दिया जा रहा है. बहुत सारे टेररिस्ट मारे भी गए.
भारत चीन सीमा पर जो दीपावली में हुआ, इसमें दूरगामी परिणाम क्या देखते हैं कि भविष्य में क्या लगता है जिस तरीके से?
देखिए, भारत का जहां तक प्रश्न है, भारत अपने सभी पड़ोसी देशों के साथ अपने रिश्ते अच्छे बनाकर रखना चाहता है और भारत और चीन के बीच लगातार साल 1.5 साल से ये बातचीत चल रही थी. आर्मी के लेवल पर भी और डिप्लोमेटिक लेवल पर, दोनों स्तर पर बातचीत चल रही.
Cutting across to Gursimran, who joins us live on the broadcast. Gursimran, amid these back-to-back terror attacks and how our forces are braving it on the ground, to hear these kind of political statements that are made by Farooq Abdullah, where he not just backs for Pakistan but makes a case for the NC, especially for his son, saying that it is an attempt to target the Omar government, not even taking accountability of the fact that the unrest is growing and what they are doing about it.
See, we have seen this, that Farooq Abdullah is known for his flip-flops. A couple of days earlier, he was all in praise for the stating that it is only Pakistan, and he was blaming Pakistan for what is happening. But now, all of a sudden, it is love for the Pakistan that has come forth, that we cannot blame Pakistan for everything. And now he's questioning the Indian agency, stating that it could be a plot to destabilize the Omar Abdullah government, and also saying that the terrorists should not be killed, but should be arrested and should be inquired about. See, when it comes to the standard operating operating procedures of the security forces, their first priority remains to be that the terrorists are traced and also neutralized. Reason being that there have been many instances where in a bid to track down or arrest these terrorists, there have been collateral damage. And when it comes to the dent to the collateral damage that we are speaking of, then the forces ensure that the terrorists are neutralized so that that threat can be averted. Because forces are of the view that there should not be any harm to the common people living in the area or in that vicinity where the operation is on. And while the terrorists, they want to do maximum casualties to the security forces as well as to civilian. And that is why the operations result in the elimination of some of the terrorists. While there have been incidents where it was possible, the security forces have apprehended the terrorists. They have apprehended them in the hinterland. They have apprehended them on the line of control as well. So this shows that the security forces make best possible effort to apprehend the terrorists, but there are cases when it is not possible, and that's why they are neutralized. So there is no point dictating the security forces that how they should work. The second question is that the question mark that Farooq Abdullah is raising on the security agencies, because the what is happening in Jammu and Kashmir, the security agencies have a crucial role to play when it comes to the intel generation regarding the terror attacks. Sometimes the agencies work in such a manner that the inputs are got at an earliest and then the operations are launched. Sometimes what happens that the security forces work in a different manner so that the inputs can be generated in a general area and then operations are launched. So Farooq Abdullah trying to say that agencies trying to destabilize Umar Abdullah government is far from the reality, because it is because of the security forces and the intelligence agencies that in the last 5 years we have seen a steep decline in the number of terror activities. Though at the time when we are speaking, there are 3 to 4 operations that have been launched, but on the whole, if you see that these are the successful operations, because 2 terrorists have been neutralized already in the upper reaches of the Shangas forest, wherein one is a foreign terrorist and one is a local. That shows that the security forces are having an upper hand. The terrorists are trying to do incidents, they are trying to have an impact on ground, but the security forces are ensuring that the terrorists are neutralized. And such statements by the political leaders who have been at the helm of affairs in Jammu and Kashmir for a longer period of time should have been avoided for now.
Oh yes, absolutely. And as proud as we are of our security forces, such political statements must really be weighed before they are said in public domain. But most importantly, how the NC is also going on to put the blame on the centre instead of taking accountability for what's happening in Jammu and Kashmir. You also spoke to Ravinder Raina to get a sense of how the BJP is reacting. Let's play that out.
देखिए, ये तो सरकारों में रहे हैं, इनको इस बात को समझना चाहिए। बेतुके बयान देना अच्छी बात नहीं है, खास करके आपकी सरकार तो अभी 12 अक्टूबर को अब आई है, लेकिन इसके बाद पहले जो 5 अगस्त 2019 तक, जब तक भारतीय जनता पार्टी का शासन रहा, तो यहाँ पर शांति व्यवस्था बनी है। वो लाल चौक जिसकी आपने दहशत फैला करके रखी थी, वहाँ पर आज कल दिवाली मनाई गई है। आप मिलिटेंट्स के प्रति इतना प्रेम रखोगे तो फिर ऐसा संभव नहीं है। भारत की एजेंसियां जिस प्रकार से काम कर रही हैं, उन पर विश्वास है, हमें अपने सुरक्षा बलों पर विश्वास है, तभी ये जो आज वातावरण बना है, बेहतर हुआ है, उन्हीं की एक मेहनत लगन का परिणाम।
And yes, that was Gursimran in conversation with Kavinder Gupta. As we also move on to tell you what has been happening in the valley, as gunshots that were reportedly heard outside 14 Rashtriya Rifles Army camp in Bandipora. This following that recent terror attack in Budgam, where 2 non-locals were targeted, and a massive cordon and search operation that is underway. Like we've been telling you that while this operation has been extremely challenging, we laud our forces for how they have been leading from the front a series of terror attacks that have raised several questions about the security in North Kashmir after the polls.
As we have seen the terror attack that took place in the central Kashmir's Budgam, then after at the same time we have seen that the terror attack took place here in the Bandipora, and you can see here in the visuals in the background the army vehicles are still here and the cordon and search operation is going on. And if my Vijay can pan camera to this side, this is the exact spot and these are the forests where the operation is going on at this moment. We have learned from the sources that the 2 to 3 terrorists were involved in this gunshot that were heard yesterday late night. Then after the cordon and search operation is on in these Bandipora's dense forests that we have learned from the sources, as the joint operation of the special operation group of the Bandipora police and the Indian Army's 14th RR are doing the operation there. It clearly indicates that there are the attempts by the terrorist organizations to create disturbance again in the Kashmir. Reason is that we have seen the makeup and the historic projects in the Kashmir Valley. Also, if we'll talk about the recent elections, incident-free elections, there are attempts by the Pakistan-based terrorist organizations to create disturbance in the Kashmir. Because intelligence agencies has already said that there are some launching pads active in the Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, and they are all set to infiltrate this side, and that's why they are trying to create disturbance in the Kashmir Valley for the successful infiltration. But we have seen the high alert has been sounded across the line of control areas and other cities and towns of the Jammu and Kashmir. If we'll talk about the Bandipora's ongoing operation, which is underway since yesterday late night, the mega anti-terror operation is underway in the parts of the Kashmir.